1992. Where are you? I'm in the book, and the page 1350. Um, Dr. Master Cheng Yan says that the heart of a teacher is like the heart of Bodhisattva. From this book, as a tracing of the Jingxi lineage. At the same time, follow the timeline. You can follow the timeline to learn and understand Ciji. And you can also learn Ciji through the chapters and through various topic. For the 6 volumes of the Jingxi lineage, and you will, when you open up, you don't want to stop reading because the writing is very very touching and very well arranged. And you will be, if you open this book, you would continue reading, enjoy the reading on this book to understand Qi. And through the internet, we will connect with teacher Jingyuan and the cyberspace. I think it's in Kaohsiung we have many volunteers with various abilities. Through this online study group, we could transmit Dr. Master Zhen Yan's teachings all over the world. And we can make a vow with Master Zhen Yan that we want to share and transmit her teachings all over the world. And well, teacher Jingyuan, how come there's so many good stuff that they are very so precious. They are so precious into the history. And if we pack all the precious footstep of the volunteer all over the world in boxes, so no one will be able to see and understand the true city history. So, but we want to find all those precious city history footstep, and we want to compile them and allow the general public to understand and see the clear picture of Qi. I enjoy being with you because you have positive energy. Hello, good morning, teacher Jingyuan. Good morning, the audience from all over the world, and Qi family, good morning. I'm very happy and it's my pleasure to have this opportunity to share with you. For the past year, I didn't gave out speech because the last year, beginning of the last year, I have the cervical surgery on my cervical spine. I had a surgery, so I went through a recovering stage for the past year. And that in Kaohsiung Jinsi Hall is a bright, very warm place. It's like the peach blossom spring make us feel warm and welcome. Do you know where is our good affinity? We always meet with people who walk by us, but we might not know that they are the benefactor of our life. And when we find the path, we are not afraid that we know the direction and find the path. We are not afraid that how far away our destination is. when we met with each other, and that means that we form some kind of affinity. We need to appreciate this affinity that we are able to meet with each other and treat each other with kindness and goodness. Um, so if we could interact with each other with kindness and goodness, that means that we have that implies that we have a good um, affinity with the other people around us. Once I met a man. He look his facial expression looks like he doesn't have a good temper. And when I met with the other lady, I thought that and the facial expression, this lady look more gentle. So I bought the nectarine. I bought nectarine from the lady. I didn't want to buy the nectarine from the man whose facial expression looked like he had bad temper. But later I found out they are this lady and the man. They were a couple. So I had a realization that I judge people by their appearance. Um, and very often that we interact with others, we didn't have enough wisdom to see through the appearance of people. And what is affinity? Affinity is all the encounters in life are the affinity. They are formed by interaction long time ago, maybe our past life, and we meet again in this life. That is affinity. And met we meet each other, the meeting again in this life. uh, we have when we have good interaction with each other in our past life, when we meet each other this life, we will be we meet each other again in this lifetime, we will be feel joy and pleased to interact with this person again. um, if we do not if do not feel happy to see each other, then we would say that, oh, we are afraid that to interact with this person, that imply that you long time ago didn't form good affinity with this person. um, for after 33 years, I I met with a old friend that I haven't that we haven't met with each other for 33 years. And for some reason, we didn't have our interaction were not very smooth before. And now, for after 33 years, we met each other again, and I didn't know why I had I didn't have good interaction with this person before. Um, Master Jingyuan taught us that if we want to become like a saint, who like Mengzi, who is able to help and transmit the knowledge to a lot of people and touch many people's hearts, you need to form good affinity. and you need to make a good choice, proper choice at the proper time. You need to make the right choice, and you give to people. Not, I didn't mean that you have to go out there to make purchase. I didn't mean that. Uh, I didn't mean to just purchase something. Some people, most people, when they haven't seen each other, and when they meet, finally, when they meet up their friend that they haven't meet for a long time, they meet up. Finally, they would probably say something like, "Oh, I haven't seen you for a long time. Oh, it's rare to meet you. It's like seeing you like seeing a ghost." It's not a proper way to express and to describe the affinity with your old friend. Always appreciate affinity with others. Always appreciate the opportunity that we are able to meet with each other, even when we drive our car on the road. uh, Even when you see a car who's not um, gentle in driving, who's probably cutting off your line, you can open your heart to just give the way to the car that's not from bad affinity, even with the driver on the road that we didn't know. Try not to form negative affinity with others. And in this, I was very touched, and it gave me an impression that the a master, kung fu master, who have who have who need to a kung fu master who need to know his own potential and ability so that he could practice kung fu in a proper way so that he could become a great kung fu master. And a great kung fu master is able to pass it down the knowledge and his the tips of how to practice kung fu in a proper way, because he have a realization through his own practice and exercise. Some people, they have they do not want to share their what they learn through the way of learning, but the knowledge will not pass down to the next generation. um, it's really not a great way to when we gain the knowledge, we want to be able to practice, and also we hope that this good knowledge could pass down to the next generation. And learning is a joyful act, that we are able to learn something. We find out that we could gain new ability and gain new knowledge. It's such a joyful thing. We could learn. And no matter how old we are, throughout our life, we could continue learning. If all the learnings through the practical trainings and put into the actions, not only memorize the teachings and you or memorize the text and the books, we need to put into actions of what we have learned from the book. like the recycling volunteer of Tzu Foundation. They are just like the expert of recycle because they step by step every day they put into actions and they investing their time and actions and their spirit in the recycling works, so they become very um, they become expert in the recycling field. All the Tzu volunteer Master Zhen encourage all the Tzu volunteer. They have to they act like the firefly, although they can only illuminate dim light, but they could brighten the darkness. Although we don't have very powerful strengths, but we could help each other and we could join our effort together and we can accomplish great mission. That's like the fireflies, so they could join their efforts. Although one little firefly, it could only illumine very dim light, but all the a lot of fireflies join their effort. They could brighten a dark corner. And so all of us, we could work together, learn the spirit of fireflies, and all the volunteers can join our effort and hold our hands, and we could help this world become a very more beautiful place.
And when we see the fireworks in a very clear sky, okay, and we feel kind of sense of hope. And this is the function of a firefly. And on the Bodhisattva path, and we have to like give out whatever we can and be the benefactors of others, right? Just when others hurt, and we can feel their suffering, and when others are working in the rain, then we can do something. Even this is kind of tiny, then we can give out an umbrella. And this is kind of a good deed that we do. And even when like under kind of disasters like a floods, then we can give out the help and to protect the others from being victimized there. And this is something that we can always do. Okay, no matter how tiny it is, or no matter how trivial or like how serious it is, right? And we are always rich in mind, so we can act it out. And this is the path, okay, that we can just cultivate ourselves. And actually, let's go back to around 55 years ago, and we didn't have enough volunteer. And the Master Zheng Yan began guiding volunteers and doing good deeds. And in this picture, then you will see that all the volunteers are on the bus trying to cross the water, but we they failed. Therefore, volunteers just got off the bus and try to push it, and because they are on the way to helping others, right? And let's go back to now, like 2016, which is like more than 50 years later, and in Jordan in December in a cold winter. Okay, and why does such a thing always happen in winter? Because it's kind of freezing cold outside, and we know that the more people will just need our assistance there. Okay, and you see on the right hand of the picture, then you will see the bus is still stuck on the muddy road. Therefore, and we can learn from the two pictures that okay, we are willing to help out, but this may not be a comfortable path. This may not be as smooth as we can imagine. Well, also we know that this is kind of a muddy road, and if we are willing to be others' benefactor, and if we are willing to help out, and we can just act out no matter how rocky or how muddy the road is, right? Okay. And as Mr. Zheng Yan says that she teaches that, okay, there are more and more people who are suffering in the world, and the number of the suffering people just get increased every second by second. So it is time for us to really, really, okay, do something and act it out. Okay. Well, and this is the Bodhisattva path that I think this is broad enough for us to walk on. Okay, so you will see that we have so many volunteers who are willing to act out their passion, right? Okay, and let's talk about the parable of the poor son. Okay, in Lotus Sutra, and there was a son, and the son had a rich father, but the son just left the father, okay, out wandering outside, and even know that, okay, the son, the father, the rich father was trying his best and trying to find his like a son back, right? And he planned to, okay, give all the fortune, give all the wealth to the son. And so this is just like us, right? We are rich in mind and we are trying our best and just give out our fortune inside to people who are willing to take it, right? Okay. And Bodhisattvas can be a statue, okay, in a temple waiting to be worshipped. But living Bodhisattvas are always around us, right? And it's just like you, and it's just like me, right? Okay, so we can just grow the good seeds inside everyone's heart. So this is the way that we find our way home, and this is why in the Lotus Sutra, in the parable of a poor son, the father is trying his best and find his son home, right? Okay, and maybe some people say, "Come on, you are really old. You are old-fashioned. You are always telling some like old stories like that." Well, I have to say the value is always there. For example, the video piety is always the value for us, right? And no matter how old the concept is, right? And this is again the way home, right? Okay. And after we were born until we pass away, let me tell you, this is the path that we must be walking on, all right? And this is the path that since like 1966, Mr. Zheng Yan just paved such a road, establishing Tzu Foundation, beginning with saving 50 cents, right? And I feel this is interesting. 50 cents means, right, everybody could just do this, right? Well, think about this. If everybody says that you have to like I said, like $50 or $500, right? And you would think that this was really the difficult job for us, right? But 50 cents means everybody just could do this, right? Okay. And let's go back to the story. Okay, we go home, we go back home. And what is a home? You must open a door and you can get into your home, right? And 50 cents is the door waiting for us to open. Therefore, we can step home, right? Okay. And in Tzu like we have a lot of like missions, okay, which can just function themselves, okay, into the good way, okay. But let's go back, okay. Our sources, our origin sources is the fundamental home, which is a spiritual home, okay. And when a tree can grow up and it can have a lot of branches, and the branches must deliver the great love, and this is the spirit of Jingsi, right? Okay, and we just deliver the good thoughts, and let's not criticize and say something negative toward them, right? Okay, why don't we just speak good words, and why don't we just deliver like positive messages, and we still can like have like a positive repose around our society, and this is good. Okay, and you can see the idols on TV, right? They are the role models too, like for some group of young people, and those people would just imitate their behavior, right? Well, and if this is into the negative side, and we will turn our society into the like a negative way, right? Okay, so let's go back to 静思, the spiritual home, right? Okay, and the 静思 is, well, the powerful back, okay, a powerful backing toward like a Tzuji's old missions, okay, and the 静思 spirit is the Dharma lineage of our like a thinking, and this is the spirit of Tzuji, and this is also our Dharma lineage. And well, you can say like, where is spirit from? Okay, it is from, okay, Master Jingyuan, right? Okay, it is also from the Buddhism, right? And actually this is from the traditional sense of value of our society, right? Okay, and we have a home, and home is the Jingsi abode in Hualien, and it is the spiritual home for every Tzu volunteer. And because of the pandemic, okay, so volunteer around the world cannot go back to the spiritual home, but you always possess the spirit, so you are still at home, okay? So you may say that, come on, I don't have a home, okay? Home doesn't mean a house, right? Home is a treasure that you can hold on to your spirit there, okay? Well, okay, a family is a place. A family is a concept that brings you all the warmth and all the maybe fortune. Okay, well, and when we open up our eyes, and probably you will realize, okay, it's been flooding somewhere. Okay, and it's been kind of like a tsunami, like a hitting there. Okay, so we really feel we just can't bear to see that. Okay, and this is a disaster around there, like a physical, I mean, material house, right? Okay, well, and why do we have such a like a disaster there? And another case is that, okay, do you know like why people usually pass away during the night when sun cannot reach? Okay, so maybe some people would think, then let's turn nights into days, then people won't die. Okay, right. Okay. And so we have astronauts that are trying, okay, they try to just reach the sun, okay, and you will see, okay, and we are getting thirsty, right? Okay. Okay. So they are the concept that we may not, have to follow. Okay. Well, and some like a simple ideas, a simple concept that, okay, but for example, you may just try to quench some people and who are thirsty on their way, and this is just like a Dharma water that we are offering, right? Okay. Okay. And okay, we have a Kwafu, okay, and he was, trying to pursue the sun, okay, and finally he was thirsty to death, right? Okay, and you will see that, okay, you don't have to do that, okay, and we can just turn the thinking into something that is more like applicable in our like daily lives, right? Okay, well, mythology, it's beautiful. Mythology may be kind of a well beautiful for us, right? But finally, if we can act that out, and right, then we can turn this like a more beautiful. Just like when you go to the like a forest and you are thirsty and you find some kind of juicy fruit to eat, right? And I think this is going to a kind of a good ending because we were quenched there. Okay, right. And we have so many ancestors like passing through all the ways that we are on. Okay, we know our ancestors are from like a Fujian province and walking all the way, okay, to Taiwan. Okay, so we are the offspring, and we have to shoulder the responsibility passing down the heritage and quench people who are thirsty and save people from disasters, right? And we have like Taoyuan means like a Shangri, okay? Well, and somebody just got lost, and he was lost in a forest, and he just witnessed it. Okay, how beautiful it was. And finally, he acquainted and he reached the water sources. And then he witnessed a mountain, and inside the mountain, and he see, okay, the sunlight, okay, because he was in the dark and he sees the light, and you will know that he is happy, right? Okay. Well, so you have to let something go, and you can find the light inside your heart, and you can just walk in, and that is the right way that is guiding us. Well, so if we are, we have the wisdom to give, and we are wise enough to give out something, okay, right, okay, and give out is something good, and we have to also get rid of something bad that is our like a habitual tendencies, right? Okay, and
It's the most difficult thing is to give up our habitual tendencies. Um, to seek for good fortune is not as good as grow better habitual tendency. If you don't form good affinity with others, it's hard to be able to have great interaction with others. You to seek for great fortune, it's better to plant a good seed in your life. Um, Master Zheng always told us that there is do not believe in fortune. Actually, we are able to steer our own the direction of our life. We have the ability to steer the direction of our life. How do we steer the direction in our life journey? We need Dharma teachings in our wisdom life to nurture our wisdom life. So when we interact with others, we will be able to interact with good habitual tendency and form good affinity. The Dharma teachings in our life is just like the bone marrow nurturing our life, but the Dharma teachings is nurturing our wisdom life. When Master Zheng asks us to grasp seize all the opportunity and every moment of our life to do good deeds. When you want to take action, you need to think through the cause and consequences of your actions. You, to do good deeds to benefit all sentient beings, not only to benefit ourselves, but will also benefit the sentient beings who have affinity with us. When we always Chinese people always pray to their ancestors with three incense, and when we pray to our ancestor, we always hope that they could they could safeguard us and so that we could be safe and we could be healthy. And actually, what we need to do is to learn the wisdom from our ancestors and pass down their knowledge to our offspring, to our next generation. So all of us, we will gain the knowledge and we will be able to have more wisdom when we interact with others. And Master Cheng Yen taught us that we need to not only chanting, reciting the Dharma Sutra, but we need to take action of what we have learned from from Buddhism Sutra. I met Master Cheng Yen when I met Master Jingyuan when I was very young. But I always go, very often I argue, and Dharma, I argue with others. I have different opinions with my colleagues. But when I always have the argument with my colleagues, because I have a good intention, but when I have argument, uh, I always remind myself about the role model of Dharma messaging and the teachings from Dharma messaging. Before you have bad temper, you have to think about Master Zhenyan. Master Zhenyan encourage us that we, although all of us we come into Tzu family, and all of us have different, various habitual tendencies. But we need to open our heart to accommodate each other so that we could all hold our hand together to work for the sentient beings. And this teacher Jingyuan, you look so graceful on the screen, and your talk is very inspiring, and the tone is very gentle. I learned so much from you, even when I was new to Qi. You deep down in my heart, you are a person who I look up to in Qi. I learned for the past year, for the past many years in Qi, always learn so much from you. You, he teacher Jingyuan, she is in Qi for more than 3 decades. He is still very dedicated to follow Master Zhen Yan's footsteps and learning the teachings from Dharma Master Zhen Yan. Sharing from online, I learned of so much from teacher Jingyuan's sharing. From Thailand, every time I heard the sharing from Jingyuan. It's just like learning a new things from Tzu history, and inspire me to appreciate what I learned in Tzu and put into practice to form affinity with others. I'm very grateful that teacher Jingyuan share how to form a good affinity with others. And from Canada, teacher Jingyuan is a great role model to me. She is a very knowledgeable and very dedicated city volunteer. And Chen Guoyan say that Chen Guoyan had a sharing about Dr. Chen's sharing, and now a group of young volunteer who had who make the airplane that designated as the airplane that CG purchased BNT vaccine. It touched many people's heart because it is a big